So Halloween will soon be upon us, and what better way to spend the day than watching some spooky anime shows and reading some malevolent mangas. So here are my top 10 anime and manga recommendations to keep you in the Halloween mood. So first off is going to be Little Witch Academia. Starting off a bit light-hearted, as Halloween doesn't always need to be scary, and if you're looking for some easy witchy watching, might I recommend Little Witch Academia. If you're a fan of Harry Potter but love the art style of anime such as Cyberpunk Edgerunners or Promare, well, luckily Studio Trigger has made just the show for you. The basic premise of your typical group of friends go to school for witches and embark on many adventures living your typical school life. It's such a basic formula that works just so well. We all like fantasy and we can all relate to school experiences, such as new friendships, getting in trouble and dealing with bullies. Definitely a watch if you're not looking to get spooked this Halloween. My second recommendation is basically anything Junj Ito related. This is a bit of a cop-out honestly, but Junj Ito is the be-all and end-all when it comes to horror manga. True master of his craft. The art style never disappoints and is truly some of the most horrifying stories, all the made scarier by the truly grotesque and spine-tingling art. If you want some of my personal picks, obviously his most famous work, Uzumaki, has to be mentioned. Tomi, another very popular series that is just a must-read. But others such as Shiver, Venus in the Blind Spot. But for me personally, it's Ito's most recent work, The Liminal Zone, which has really hooked me this month. So if I had to pick, definitely, if you can get your hands on it, check out The Liminal Zone. So back to anime now, and it's no surprise that I've put Tokyo Ghoul in this list. Either the anime or the manga, honestly, but the story is truly so worthy of a late night Halloween read or watch. The gore, the morally grey story and characters, the psychological impact of what is right and wrong, astonishing artwork, and a compelling story. Tokyo Ghoul really does have it all, and I might add, one of the most popular seinen manga of all time. The manga is considered much better, but the anime is very easy to find on all streaming platforms and services. If you haven't experienced this roller coaster of a series yet, why not this Halloween? Another manga with an anime adaptation is Mieruko-Chan. I absolutely loved this show so much when it first aired, and I immediately started buying the manga so I could read ahead. And oh boy, is the art just so terrifying in this series. The fact the story revolves around a girl who can see all these grotesques and downright terrifying spirits and chooses to actively ignore them out of pure fear that they would do something to her is not only scary as but also so big brain and funny at the same time. The anime is solid, but if you have money to spare and want a very short series being only 8 volumes long, with only currently 5 being printed in English, definitely check out the manga. Like I said, the art is absolutely out of this world. At number 5, next we have the quintessential OG edgy early 2000s anime, which is Elfen Lied. If you were like 13 and had jet black hair and was the only kid in your school that watched anime that wasn't Naruto or Pokemon, you were probably the mega edgelord who watched Elfen Lied. I was going to put Serial Experiments Lane here, but later on I've picked another scary because it's so real movie on the list, so make sure you check out for that. But Elfen Lied, as much as it gets dogged on for being overly over-the-top edgy, it really is, in my opinion, a pretty good Halloween watch. Insane gore, killer OP, and it's nostalgic as hell. I think the fact the show is so over the top with its gore is what makes it so iconic. So for newbies and OG edgelords and ladies alike, why not check out Elfen Lied late this Halloween night? At number 6, we are back to manga now, and if you're in the mood for a heavy read, might I recommend another? I picked this chunk of a manga up last year, and oh boy is it now my yearly Halloween read. A very creepy mystery horror story where back in the 70s a student dies partway through the year. However, her class sort of pretends she's still around. Very weird, just hear me out. By the time it comes to the end of the year photograph, she mysteriously appears in it, leading to a curse that kills off members of class 3 every year since. If you like some mystery mixed with your horror, looking at you Danganronpa fans, then definitely check out another. My 7th pick is Ghost Stories, particularly the dub. Let's just take a break from the spooky stuff now and back to something a lot more light-hearted. The Ghost Stories dub specifically is infamous in the anime community. You've probably even seen clips of it online of how ridiculously funny this show is. If you didn't already know, Ghost Stories was given to US distributors and told they could basically do anything they wanted with the dubbing of it. So they did, resulting in a cult classic dub for a series, bringing in even more popularity than the original Japanese run of the show did. You can watch most of the series on most streaming platforms, even on YouTube I think, which has a bunch of compilations of the funniest moments. So if you want to grab some snacks, stick on a nice warm hoodie and laugh your ass off this Halloween, definitely check out Ghost Stories dub. Now at number 8, our next manga needs no introduction, and that is Berserk. Now, not traditionally a horror manga, its dark fantasy setting, monsters, and heart-pulling story of pain, suffering, and loss really does make for a thrilling Halloween read. Kentaro Miura's Berserk will always be one of the greatest stories of all time, and his art and story will haunt everyone who reads it, changing you possibly forever. If it's not the twisted monsters that scare you, the cruel world and sorrowful life of the main protagonist's guts will surely keep you on edge the whole time you are reading. If you're looking for an adventure that is dark, hopeless, nor a happy one, and make sure you pick up a copy of Berserk this Halloween. At number 9, my last anime recommendation is in fact a film, and a film also directed by one of the greatest anime minds of our lifetime, that being the great Satoshi Kon, the film being Perfect Blue. The frightening thing about Perfect Blue is simply how real the story is possibly of being. Stalkers, especially for those in idol culture, is very real and very frequent, unfortunately. Having that thought constantly in the back of your mind while watching this, alongside the direction Satoshi Kon takes, giving us POV shots of the stalker and mind-bending scenarios that make you forget what truly is reality or fantasy. It truly ends up being a horrifying story to watch. If you're feeling exceptionally brave this Halloween, turn off the lights and put on Perfect Blue. And now on to our final manga recommendation of this video, and this manga I only recently came across while looking up series to put in this video, and that series is called Pumpkin Night. If you're a fan of classic slasher horror movies, especially Scream, then you will absolutely love Pumpkin Night, an absolute slasher gore fest. Is the simplest way I can describe this manga. The art is some of the best and does not censor anything at all, literally organs all over the page. It truly leans into that classic slasher stereotypes, which is a great callback to classics of the genre and I rarely see in manga. I've been enjoying reading it loads the past couple of days. I mean, what's more Halloween than a slasher story about a girl wearing a freaking pumpkin on her head? So that has been my top 10 anime and manga recommendations to check out this Halloween. Make sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and leave me your recommendations down in the comment section below. Until next time.